What is up, citizen detectives, antler queens, and frog scientists? This is the Yellowjackets Buzz Podcast, Season 3, Episode 7, Croak. And is that a double meaning or what?
I don't even know. I don't even know where to start. I'm so excited to talk about this episode.
Oh my god, I'm Glenn, she's Issa, the music's playing again. Pardon us, folks, I'm doing this remote tonight. We're doing this on the road in a hotel on Wi-Fi. We know we had to delay a few episodes ago when I was traveling, and so much happened between episode 6 and the episode tonight that we were like, no, we must do this right away and get our thoughts out there. And this episode, there was a lot that happened in this episode. There's a lot that was revealed in this episode, and man, if you were one of those people that were like, I don't know, season 2 is kind of crazy, season 3 feels slow so far, like, oh no.
The last 2 episodes have really picked up.
So 2 of my favorites of the entire series.
Same. Of the entire series, yes.
The entire series. So good. And we open with this, with Issa texting me, why am I watching frogs doing it? Well then, we start
real story.
The episode 3 days before the end of episode 6. And we got a tree frog. And it's croaking. Well, it all makes sense, Issa. They explain it all.
Yeah, they do. It was weird.
No, absolutely. But this kind of got spoiled by some of the coverage and the interviews that came out with the creators. Like, we and everyone have been saying, oh, maybe it's bird watchers. Maybe that's what's going on. And it's like, no, it's frog scientists.
I thought it was bird watchers.
Yes, I did as well. But it's a frog orgy, and everyone's invited.
Yeah,
if you can find the location.
No, I'm not interested. Do you think that frogs hang pineapples upside down in like their rooms to like let people know that they're into that?
Maybe they put all their keys in a bowl and then you draw a separate set of keys, and that's who you. It was funny because when they first showed all the frogs hanging out, I was like, oh, that's nice. I was like, wait, what's that one frog doing to that other frog? I'm like, oh, I know what's going on.
I hate frogs, by the way.
Yes. Well, then we see the scientists recording them, perhaps on a DAT recorder.
For science.
For science.
Or frog porn, whatever.
Yes. We're introduced to Ed, we're introduced to Hannah, and we're introduced to Kodiak. Joel McHale playing against type. Joel McHale looking like a young Dutch Mantel. Just rough, rugged, and outdoorsy.
He looked good. I like this version of him. I think he's Cabin Daddy.
I don't think he's Cabin Daddy.
Come on, he has to be Cabin Daddy. How does he know that place so well?
I mean,
he wouldn't give him any backstories to how he's so familiar with the area.
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, best I could tell, he was alive at the end of this episode. So his story is still, as Natasha Bedingfield said, unwritten.
Right.
Yes. So he is the guide of the frog scientists. And what we're treated to in this episode, I think this is the longest we've ever gone in an episode before the opening credits. 15 minutes.
Yes, I thought I missed them. I was like, wait, did I miss the opening credits? Like, what's happening here? It was a while.
No, we've got Ed and Hannah recording audio of the frogs. They talk about how much hiking it took them to get out there. And there's some interesting reveals. We find out that there was a previous science group out there that left some hidden supplies.
That's what Ben found.
That's what Coach Ben found. And KUH.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
KUH. Now we understand the connection. I still don't fully understand what it stands for yet.
Same, but I'm glad that they put a little explanation to where all that stuff came from.
Yes. King's University of, well, not Halifax. That would make no sense. That's the other side of Canada. But anyhow, Kodiak talks about some of his scars and markings. It says Sasquatch. So
yeah,
this guy's going to be a good time.
I love him.
Yes. If only he'd lived and survived long enough for the current era of podcasts. Can you imagine all the podcasts that Kodiak would love listening to right now? There's not even enough time in a 2-hour-long episode to name all the podcasts that Kodiak will be hosting a podcast.
Oh,
if it was,
1000%, but with the
2025.
help of somebody that understands technology.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
I don't see Kodiak being someone that will learn how to run like the streaming and all that. He will have somebody set it up for him. He'll just show up to just talk and tell his wilderness stories.
Yes, and he's got a crossbow and he kills a rabbit.
Hungry?
It's so funny as someone who's a fan of Community and so much of Joel McHale's other work going back to The Soup that he's playing like a rugged mountain man conspiracy theorist.
Yep. Yeah. I'm a big fan of The Soup back in the day on E.
Yes. We see in the next scene that Ed's toe is looking infected, so Lottie just did the right thing because he was going to go anyhow with this infected toe.
Hopefully they don't eat the foot.
Oh yeah, that'd be bad. So they're cooking the rabbit, they're hanging out, and this was kind of a real change of pace. We've talked for quite some time. There were rumors of a bonus episode last season with Jason Ritter as Cabin Daddy. We thought we were going to see, a mini movie at some point or a mini episode that didn't focus on the girls. And it's interesting that we got this little 15-minute short film, like an episode of a different series of the scientists out there with Kodiak, their guide.
But I liked it. I like the way that this episode, which I don't have a problem with the way they do it in other episodes, but the way this episode was edited and the flashbacks to the 90s, they just made sense and they were done at the right times. Like, I really, really enjoyed everything about this episode.
So Edwin is eating a protein bar as opposed to the rabbit. Kodiak says he's going to run out of those. And he's like, oh, it's cool. The past team hit a stash somewhere. So that's
it's gone now.
Yeah, but that's where his field manual is. So this is really interesting. It's funny given what we know is going to happen with the second winter and what we saw going back to the very first episode. But if I didn't know that, I would think that the girls were going to get a massive survival skills upgrade with all these additional tools, maps, and information that they found. Right. But obviously something is going to happen that's going to put them in the dire straits of winter.
Yes.
Next scene, we see an industrial strength DAT recorder. So it's portable, but it's not like the mini thing Van had. It's much more real. We've got, earlier, of course, we saw Hannah with the boom mic. And Kodiak's predicting rain. He just knows because he's in touch with nature.
He's so good. Because the other guy says, wait, what's the guy's name?
Ed.
Yeah, I feel bad. Like I remember Hannah and I remember Kodiak, but I don't remember his name. But Ed said, "There's not a cloud in the sky," and I'm like, "What do you know? You need to listen to Mutton Man."
And Kodiak was named after the chewing tobacco, not the band.
Yes, that was funny.
He is a mystery wrapped in an enigma, and Hannah can't get his backstory out of him. Like I don't think he's going to be around for very much longer on this show, but I think he's going to be wildly entertaining.
Agreed. Same.
Yeah. And then GeoCities mentioned talking about the GeoCities website there for the project.
What a throwback.
It's 97, y'all. And Kodiak tells a frog joke, which is fine. I thought it was going to be a little funnier. But I like this time with them in the tent. Hanging out. This was very interesting.
Is this when they play Fly by Sugar Ray? Because I meant to tell you, I can finally pop for the music. You're always the one coming in with the music references and this and that. We have finally hit my time, Glenn, because I popped huge when I heard that song. I was like, oh my God, I haven't heard that in forever. I used to love it.
I mean, it's good. I mean, if I were picking Sugar Ray, maybe I would go with Personal Space Invader or maybe Mean Machine or RPM or a deeper cut.
RPM is good. Deep Machine is good, but Fly is a good song and it's so known. It will take you back to that time, which was well done.
Yes.
You don't want to go with the obscure songs. A lot of people don't like the band that much, but they're gonna know those hits that were everywhere.
No, that's true. And if it's 1997, actually, Fly was the summer of 1997, so that's perfect. Yeah. Personal Space Invader was the next record after it was on 1459, so this makes sense. Why
Yeah,
was
no.
everyone in
I
the summer
felt taken back.
1997?
I felt taken back. I was like, oh my God. And then I was so excited to talk to you because you're the one who always knows all the music references. And I'm like, I feel like we have hit my time finally.
I have a vivid memory in the summer '97 not going, but I was like, this is the ultimate, like Sugar Ray and Smash Mouth toured together in the summer of '97.
Oh,
Right when
wow.
Fly and Walking on the Sun were both all over the radio.
Oh, beautiful songs too.
Yes. So they get high in the tent.
On a plant that Cody grew himself.
Yes. And it's weird that Hannah and Ed seem to be romantically involved to me. Maybe they're not. They seem to be. But she's
Not
also kind
anymore.
she's into Kodiak.
She fell in love with the mutton guy.
No, but he's holding her. I'm looking at this like Ed's holding her. Like, but then weird things happen when you're stranded in the wilderness.
Yes.
You're getting high in a tent, and let's just leave it at that.
If they would have
So
not broken the phone, you never know where that could have led.
yes. Well, so these frogs like freeze for 7 years and then thaw out to mate.
What?
Yeah, they talk about this. Ed was studying toad secretions. Hannah kept going on and on about these unique frogs. Some folks from the university came out years ago. The Arctic banshee frog, never been recorded, and that's what they were there to do. And when we heard them singing, now we understand what the music was that Lottie heard in the last episode, what the screaming was that she yelled back at. Yeah, it's all coming together, Issa.
I don't find frogs that interesting, but go off.
So they pull out a satellite phone and they're going to call Miss Cleo psychic hotline.
I love that reference too.
And
scam artist.
This was like one of those freak out moments where it's just like, what? There's a satellite? Like, this was an insane plot twist that they immediately destroy because they're messing around and they break the internet.
Yeah, I know. I was like, come on, you can't have a phone. And then as soon as I saw the phone, I was like, that's how they get rescued. But then that lasted a whole 30 seconds.
Yeah. One of the best lines of the episode. They're going to call Mrs. Cleo and say, is Kodiak going to find a Mrs. Cody? And he says, I'm pretty sure the future Mrs. Cody is working one of those other 900 numbers.
I love that too. He's so good.
Yeah, Joel McHale is great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're doing some horseplay. They're horsing around, and Mom always said never to play ball in the house. And,
high on the chronic.
High on the chronic. Why couldn't he have called it the chronic? Why couldn't have Ed said, is that the chronic? Please.
Every time I get a chance to reference that, I'm gonna.
So what's interesting though is Edwin is like, that was our lifeline that you just broke, and he's like, relax, I'm your lifeline.
I love that line too. That's when Hannah fell in love, because I was like, that was kind of badass.
They're not going to do it because it's too comedic and it doesn't make sense, but I would love it in the next episode if they start interrogating Kodiak and it turns out like he's just some dude. Like, he's like, this is actually my first time doing this. Like,
I've never been out here in my life.
I've never been out here. I actually don't care for the outdoors very much.
Yeah. That would actually be funny.
That would be amazing.
He's one of those guys that just ends up being good at everything as soon as they do it. So that's why he fits in, but he's never been out there. That would be funny.
But the next morning, though, you could tell Edwin's really, really jealous. And he's like, this guy's going to rob us. He's going to kill us. Like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
They're trying to look at a map, figure out where they're going. And the compass is doing the crazy compass thing again that we saw in season 1.
Have you ever used a compass in your life?
Yeah, I was in Boy Scouts for a brief period of time.
Oh, that's cute.
I mean, everyone was doing it. And yet you got to wear your uniform to school. We had like, hey, we're all going to wear a uniform to school one day. And it was so dorky.
Oh, wow.
And then I got to Weeblos. Weeblo was like level 2. Weeblo stands for We Be Loyal Scouts. And then I was like, no, I can't do this anymore.
Okay, so if you would have not been in the Boy Scouts, would you have ever used a compass in your life?
I mean, in my car all the time. It shows me the direction I'm going.
Oh my God, Glenn, nobody uses compasses. Just say no.
I know. But you know what I miss about the Scouts, though, is the kerchief. I really think a nice kerchief, draping over my shoulders and with a little cinch in the middle. I'm going to bring that back.
Wow. Trendsetter.
So yes, as we could see, there are fractures in this relationship. Edwin is paranoid. Hannah is just like, whatever. And yeah, I think that at this point, this is where the dread started to kick in because it was like, oh, I know what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
I know where this is going. And it's so funny too, because if you look at Hannah in the scene when she's walking around, it looks like she has a shotgun in her backpack, but it's a boom mic.
Yes. I thought it was a shotgun too.
But then when they show Edwin with the tree in front of him, the tree's got the symbol on it, and it's like, oh no. But they're setting up, and then Edwin says it smells like barbecue.
It smells like barbecue. They were barbecuing Coach Ben. That's who they were barbecuing.
Yes. It's also interesting that Kodiak had a different name, Eric Chong, in his vest.
It's not his best.
Yes. We're gonna find out. But so before he can investigate that, he goes to investigate the barbecue smell.
And I love that Kodiak said, this far away from society, I will not check that out. They should have listened to him.
I know, right? Well, he knows the mountains and he knows the
You don't
woods.
have to know the mountains to know that it's the middle. You're in the middle of nowhere. It's the middle of the night. Something smells iffy. Don't check it out.
I don't know, man. Because if you're at like the campgrounds and you smell someone smoking the chronic, you're like, oh, there's people nearby. I got my acoustic guitar. Let's go party.
He said it smelled like barbecue, not chronic.
I know. And so as they get closer, Hannah decides to bust out the recorder, and we hear the DAT tape that we heard in the last episode. She does the testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
We hear the screams.
And then this escalates real quick, Glenn.
Oh my god, I couldn't believe this. So this confirms that that silhouette that people thought was Cabin Daddy was Kodiak in the last episode walking by. Hannah and Ed go up to the campsite. They get the attention. And then it's crazy that everyone looks so shocked. And you can really study the expressions on the faces of surprise, except, of course, for Lottie, who's yelling no.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the wilderness apparently has
want it
here.
It doesn't want it here.
We're going to talk about what happened next, but I think that this episode really changed my opinion of Lottie.
This episode really changed my opinion of Shauna.
True. But I think with Shauna, like, I don't know. I feel like the darkness and the complexity was baked in, but with Lottie, it's like I thought Lottie was just a clairvoyant who loved nature and good vibes.
Nah, she's hungry for dirt blood.
It's so crazy that they stumble upon this, and you could just see the look of hope in the faces. You could see the look of confusion in the faces.
The hope goes away real quick.
But just even look at like Natalie's face. Like there's just a masterclass in acting here. But then just head with the what the fuck when he sees Coach Ben's head. His crazy Van.
He died of natural causes.
Well, Van says we're going home, and Van, Liv Hewson, great here. Van is such a cynical character, and to see her believe in something and have this hope was
she's so sweet.
Yeah, it was really.
She had
a
couple of moments on this episode that I was like, "Oh, man, you precious little thing."
This was such a great episode for so many of the characters. But I think that to give us this first 15 minutes from this other perspective really explained a lot. And it's we're at a pivotal moment in the show because before everything that happened before Coach Ben. Even the deaths that happened were circumstantial. Like I'm not saying that they were they were before, except with Coach Ben, but even that was a mercy killing. But then this is like the point of darkness that happens here. So we get the what the fuck. Hannah's like, hey, we didn't interrupt. We were just leaving. I love this that Missy's like, he died of natural causes. And then they realize who they are, and Edwin is about to say, you're the Yellowjackets. And then, bam, axe to the back of the head, courtesy of Lottie Matthews.
What was that? It happened so quick, too. I wasn't expecting that. I know she freaked out, but my God.
And Shauna, though, smiling with the holy shit. Like
Shauna is a terrible person.
Yeah, Shauna was a little too into this. Could have done without the shot of the split skull and the brains.
No. We need the whole visual.
Yes, but then I love Natalie. Sophie Thatcher is just killing it. But that look on her face with the Lottie, what did you do? And Lottie's just like, they didn't belong.
The wilderness didn't want him here.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
want them here, and it's just like, okay, so Kodiak and Hannah hightail it out of there, and Lottie's like rubbing his brain blood all over her face. Like
She is getting off on it worse than the frogs in the beginning.
there was something there. But then, okay, so this I thought was a little swerve for a second, where then they're running away. Kodiak, because he's a badass, turns around with his crossbow, being chased, and just fires the crossbow and hits Melissa right in the shoulder.
Yeah, and then
I
we
thought Melissa was
realized,
gonna die.
me too. And Shauna is like, you stay with her. And if she dies, you die, Mary. And I'm like, oh, wow. No pressure. No
Yeah,
pressure to keep her alive.
and would you rely on Mari for this? I mean, it's Mari and Jen, but still.
Yeah,
But the other
but
girl yelling, "You psycho!" They were trying to help us. Natalie, clean this up. We don't know how many more are coming. This was an amazing scene because we see just the difference in opinions here of how this is being reacted to. It's like Shauna chooses chaos, as Shauna always does.
duh, she's the leader now, too.
Lottie's got her bloodlust, and everyone else is just kind of like, we really wanted to go home. Like, this is cool and all, but you
They
know.
should have not been displaying Coach Ben's head out like that.
And I love that they immediately go to Shauna listening to the DAT tape. It's interesting that she fast forwards ahead though, because she didn't know what was on this. She skips past the ritual and then hears Hannah giving like what sounds like a deathbed confession to her child, who she had when she was a teenager.
She said, I
Wants,
wanted you to be proud of me. I wanted this to be more than just another teenage
yeah,
pregnancy. Oh, heartbreaking.
I know it's a very nice goodbye that she's leaving. And Shauna is freaking out because Shauna obviously didn't know this. And Shauna, who was pregnant as a teenager, is feeling a lot of emotions. You could tell she's very conflicted about this at first, but
Mm-hmm.
then immediately goes to Google, as
Yeah.
one does. Take that, Misty Quigley. She knows how to use a search engine. You're not
Yeah,
the
wow.
only
I was
one.
impressed.
She searches Hannah, KUH, and frogs. And then with that finds Hannah Sophia Finch, her obituary. Hannah was really into Frisbee.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, I went back a few times and looked at the obituary to see what details we had. But she loved Frisbee.
Cute.
Yes. Okay, so Jeff needs to use the bathroom. Shauna gets out of there. And this is interesting that like Jeff wants so bad to get tagged in.
Poor Jeff. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
I mean, he's acting like he does.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he does, but I mean, if he only knew, he doesn't. Cause like he's in denial, realizing that his wife is just a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, by the end of the episode, Callie is like, "Hey, free
Yeah,
bird rule. We both need to get tagged in
yeah.
to this because she's dragging us down."
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's interesting that she's with the "I don't deserve you." Like she clearly loves and admires Jeff and is committed to Jeff, but at the same time has a lot of disdain for Jeff.
I mean, remember everything that was going on before, and then the Jackie thing. Like, I can understand all the mixed emotions, but I think she loves him. I do.
And says, "Do you realize what they're doing, Callie being out of school? And I run a business."
I mean, I love what he said, and you keeping us in this shithole with that is poorly furnished. Yo, when I tell you I laughed out loud, I was like, oh, Jeff.
Sadeki Furniture has furniture that fucks people, and
Yeah.
the Joels just need to come to
If we
Jesus
don't
on
get
that.
the room completely redecorated with his furniture by next episode, what are we doing?
I want that for Jeff's story arc at the end of the season. That Jeff like gets the contract.
I want Jeff to redecorate the room and tell Shauna, if you're gonna keep us here, I at least have to make it tasteful.
Yes, and then they come in and see it, and they're like, "Oh my god, Jeff, you're a genius."
Yeah. And he gets a contract. You're right, you're right.
So this is crazy. Callie is listening, and Callie has heard the recording of the recording
She has.
and starts searching Canada missing persons 90.
But I don't think that Shauna played the whole recording in the car.
No.
So she only listened to a little bit of it.
But she knew, she heard he died of natural causes. They were trying to help us. Like, heard all that. I mean, before the shit went down. So,
Right.
yeah. Good on Callie having some agency.
She's the best.
She is pretty good. And then I like how when Ty is sleeping, it sounds kind of like a frog. Did you
Please.
notice that?
Yes, but she should not be snoring like that.
But Misty gets into the room.
And her methods, I don't even know. You watch for that 10.99? What?
Yeah, that was good.
What?
So Misty is there to confront Ty that she saw Lottie the day she died. And
Yeah,
I
and
love
Van
this
didn't
exchange.
know.
By the way, can we just say for a second? Have you noticed in the past few episodes this season, like Misty's hair is looking really good?
It's looking beautiful. She must be taking care of her curls.
But I feel like they just changed the curls a little bit because when the series started, the curls were supposed to signify like, oh, she's quirky, she's kind of a character. I feel like maybe they were a little tighter, but
Maybe
now
she
like
got maybe she got into Reddit. You know, she's really into Reddit, and maybe she got into some kind of hair care subreddit.
with this in the leather jacket, I think this is working for Misty.
Oh, me too. Walter's
Yes.
going crazy.
But I like this how Van and Misty are interrogating Ty lightly, and I like Misty having this control. And I like in
She
this
said
episode,
two of us would like to know.
yes, pointing out she has a history of doing crazy shit and not even knowing about it. Van's expressions are great in this, but
Yeah.
I like how Misty says to Van, "You think she could have done it?" And then Van has this look, and then Ty's looking at Van
She
like,
thought
"Don't you
about it.
fucking
She
say
thought
it!
about it. Yup.
Don't you say it! I will murder you."
She
Van
loves
is
her,
a
but
real
she
one.
knows that it's so scary. So she's like, I'm not gonna say it. But she thought it. We all know she thought. Yeah, she possibly
Yes.
could have done it.
Misty learns about the tape. We cut back to the wilderness. There's lots of running. I will say one thing that I really like is I feel like they're dealing Misty in now. Like Misty is now, it's really the leather jacket and the better haircut. If the movie
Yeah,
Can't Buy Me Love taught us anything, it's that just a little bit of a fashion glow up will get you taken much more seriously by your peers.
I thought that was taught to us by She's All That.
Well, Can't Buy Me Love was like 10
I
years
don't know.
before that.
Okay,
Patrick
well,
Dempsey, back before everyone knew him from Grey's Anatomy.
I know him from Scream.
Yes. Well, that was like Scream 3. But here's the weird thing about Patrick Dempsey. Sorry, sidebar. Patrick Dempsey became a sex symbol in the early 2000s due to Grey's, right? Now, for some
Fucking
reason,
sexy.
but as a teenager, somebody in Hollywood decided that he was going to be the irresistible like teenage heartthrob because he was in 3 movies in a row. He was in a movie called In the Mood, which is about a guy based on a true story about like a kid that married 3 different women in quick succession when he was a teenager. He was in a movie called Can't Buy Me Love, where he played the nerd who paid a girl to go out with him for a month, and that made him popular. And then he became hot. And he was in a movie called Loverboy, where he was a pizza delivery boy who had a secret gig as a gigolo. And if the women called and ordered extra anchovies, he would show up and have sex with them.
Guess how many of these I've seen, Glenn?
They're all pretty good movies. Loverboy being the best of the 3.
Guess how many of them I've seen?
0.
But I saw him on Scream.
Yes.
He married Sydney. And now
Yes.
they're not even going to bring him back. Anyways, let's not talk about that.
So Patrick Dempsey, hot before his time, question mark? Who knows? Anyhow, we got a woods chase going on here.
Yes.
They're literally chasing after them with torches. Like it's Frankenstein's monster.
It was a great visual, though.
And I love Natalie saying, be quiet, listening for the branch snap. And then chasing after. Natalie is smart. She should still be in charge.
She's being out. No, she should not. But she's being out there in the wilderness. She knows how to work her way around. She's better at this than Kodiak.
Well, Kodiak and Hannah split up.
Because Hannah's an idiot.
I mean, I don't know. I think Hannah lives a lot longer than Kodiak does.
We don't know who lives more.
True. And why are the girls shrieking and yelling when they're chasing them?
I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. I'm like, maybe they shut up. They wouldn't alert them, and it would be easier to find them.
Yeah, I mean, Elmer Fudd taught us you're very quiet when you're hunting.
Yeah.
The key element of surprise. So we and Travis has a shotgun. Shauna just wants like just murder nonstop at this point.
Yeah, she's she's blood hungry.
She's
murder hungry. Lottie's blood hungry.
Did you notice that multiple times in this episode they made a big deal out of showing how they were putting out their torches?
Yes.
there's got to be something there aside from trying to teach today's youth proper torch safety.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're in an episode of Survivor and they've been voted out.
Yeah, possibly.
The tribe has spoken, and then Jeff snatches your torch. I don't know,
Hannah,
but we do see later on imaginary Ben, like using a
oh
torch
yeah,
to like light on
oh,
fire the bed.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We get Hannah catching her hair on a branch and then having to tear it off, and like some of the skin comes off with it. Gnarly.
That
Weird
was
though. Weird that when Shauna sees that though, she like takes it and puts it in her pocket.
yeah. At that point, just kill me. If I'm losing my hair to a freaking branch in the middle, then I just stay there. I'll just be like, all right, put me out.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so Hannah hides behind a log. Smart.
She makes it there pretty long too.
Yeah. I thought they were gonna run and jump over the log, and this was gonna be like Marty hiding in Back to the Future 3. But everyone keeps running and going from the first party tie-in van, and Hannah is in a panic, rightfully so, right? I mean, she just saw Ed get an axe to the head. Shit is going down.
Yeah.
But she's got that DAT recorder.
And that's when she records her message to her daughter.
Yeah.
That we see Shauna listening to.
Her baby Alex.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, though, that she records this message and then hides this here in the woods. We're going to talk more about this and what we think it means. But Shauna, when she opens the elevator, is confronted by Ty, Van, and Misty. The four are back together again. And they're going to figure some things out. It's also weird they're talking about this in public.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So Shauna informs them what else is on the tape with the recorded message, more than just what Lottie did. So we've got confirmation this is what they were hiding. It was Lottie,
Right.
like the murder on tape. Reveals that Hannah had a child. And Shauna now believes that this is the woman that was the bathroom lady, the one that messed with the brakes, the one who locked her in the freezer.
Nobody messed with her brakes. She's just making that up.
Yes. I like in this scene that Shauna, who was once the Antler Queen, is now being treated more as the other in the group, the outsider, than Misty is.
They're all the outsiders. So what this scene made me realize is how much they don't talk to each other when they should probably unite. Because Misty comes in and she knows that Thaisa met with Lottie, something that Van didn't know. But then you find out that Misty doesn't know that Shauna got this tape. And it's like they're all outsiders in their own way. They just like figure who to gang up against at a given time. But all of them know something that the other doesn't.
Well, it's also interesting if you go back to season 1, how they acted to one another. Like the trauma was so in the past and the craziness was in the past, and now Shauna's like, oh, I'm gonna try and have a reasonable conversation with her, and everyone's laughing because it's like, we all kill people. Like, this is our thing. Like, let's do this, and then rose all day afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just chill afterwards.
Yeah. And I love how Misty's saying with the brakes, oh, it wasn't me. Like, Misty is having a moment in this episode.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody was, because later in the conversation, when she starts texting Thaisa and Ben, and Thaisa is like, oh, now it wasn't me. Like, it's so funny how they all just accuse each other and then they just get so defensive. I love it.
Yeah. So Van, they all make it clear that they're going with her to Richmond, Virginia. So road trip. The sitcom continues.
Let's go. It wasn't a fun road trip.
Also, why am I not seeing this? I feel like we identified this, and nobody talks about this in Yellowjackets. The present day, with all its wackiness, makes sense if you accept the past is sci-fi horror and the present is a situation comedy.
Yeah.
So they're in the car. They're not listening to Misty show tunes. They're listening to the DAT tape again.
Mm-hmm.
And Missy's mentioning no mention of offspring in the obituary. So this, we talked about this off the air. Okay. There's some key evidence here that I just want to point out to where it supports, I think, that this Alex thing in the road trip is a red herring, much like communism in the movie Clue. Because Shauna says the daughter never even had her mother's name.
Right.
Okay, number one. Daughter don't know who the mom is. Who's given the daughter the tape?
Okay, but if the daughter, I don't know. Did the obituary mention the daughter then?
No, there was no mention.
So if the daughter, let's say it was a teenage pregnancy that was given up for adoption, right? Yeah. Then maybe she decided to go on a deep search of who her real mother is, and maybe that is why she's now coming for revenge. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. Okay, but then they say somebody managed to smuggle a tape out of there, meaning that everything at the campsite was confiscated. Something happened with everything at the campsite. Smuggled the tape out there, or they destroyed everything, right?
Obviously not.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but wait.
Because Shauna's diaries also, well, I mean, she would have taken them with her, but you know what I mean. I would have left that behind and light it on fire.
Okay, Ty dropped the biggest one line of dialogue in this episode.
Wait, what was it?
Jen and Melissa got pretty close to Hannah.
Right. So Hannah's going to make it a couple of days.
Hannah's going to make it a bit, but...
Now you got to remember, Hannah comes back with the first aid kit. That's why they end up bringing her back. So I'm assuming she's going to play nurse to Melissa for a couple of days.
But, and by the way, people speculated on Reddit, many people, that remember in the flash forwards in the first episode, there was all that hair on the Antler Queen robe. Yeah. People are speculating that's Hannah's hair.
Well, I mean, we already started cutting it off, right?
Shauna's already, yeah, exactly. Oh
my God, that does make sense. Gross. Okay.
Yes. But what I want to say though, this line, Jen and Melissa got pretty close to Hannah. So a couple things. We know Hannah makes it a couple episodes. That's huge. But and Van just said somebody smuggled the tape out. Well, if Jen and Melissa got pretty close to Hannah, and Hannah said, I have a daughter and I have a tape and I want you to get her that tape.
Oh my God. And they didn't tell anybody because they got close to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why I don't believe the daughter thing is going to... The daughter wasn't trying to kill Shauna. I think my money's still on Hillary Swank as Melissa. But however, though, this is what frustrates me. And we've talked about this before. The show does this. Okay. If Jen and Melissa are dead, or if either of them are dead, they would be like, Jen and Melissa got pretty close to Hannah, but they're dead. So
right. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that.
They always want to leave it open. I did think
this was the end for Melissa. Did you?
Did think this was what?
The end? Like I thought Melissa was dying from
absolutely.
That. Okay. I mean, we still don't know, but that's like, as soon as he shot her, I was like, oh, well, now we know Melissa doesn't make it, but she might.
This is the biggest flaw of the show, is that when they do stuff like this, they don't say like, well, they're dead, but then they also don't say, Jen and Melissa got pretty close to Hannah. Why don't we give them a call and see if they know anything about this?
Right. They just leave you there like, well, what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
Are they here? Are they not? Yeah.
That's the one thing we have to suspend disbelief on constantly with this show, is every time.
Yeah, we still don't know how many people really survived this thing, honestly.
Yes. And it's just tough when they try and do these mysteries without giving us information that the characters should know. I could understand here's what I could understand. I could understand if Shauna was like, well, Melissa disappeared 10 years ago, or I think she's dead. I haven't heard from her, but then it turns out she's alive. But the characters should have given their tight knit. In fact, and Misty used Allie's term trauma bond in this episode. But given their trauma bond, I bet you Allie with the trauma bond, Allie knows exactly who's alive, who's dead, and what they're up to, because they're all bonded by this trauma in their sisterhood.
Yeah.
And Misty should also know who's alive and dead.
Yeah, but they don't tell us.
I know. It's very frustrating.
It is. It is.
They want to keep a couple cards in the hole. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, I just missed this. I apologize.
Okay.
Jen and Melissa got pretty close to Hannah. I missed this. Van says, yeah, but they're both dead.
Oh
Okay, so
wait, she says that?
yeah. Okay, wait a second. Sorry, apologies, viewers and listeners. Yeah, but they're both dead. That makes this even bigger. This is even more huge.
Now I want to know if Melissa dies out there. And maybe that's why they kill Hannah. Because she couldn't keep Melissa alive. Shauna kills Hannah.
Okay, but Hillary Swank ain't the daughter Alex.
How do you know?
Well, the daughter's 25 years old.
Oh, okay, fine.
Hillary Swank's twice that.
I know.
Alex had a really hard life.
You know, you never know.
Okay, so they're saying two mysteries. One, and I'm sorry that I missed this. I was so caught up.
I assumed she was gonna be the daughter, but now you're onto something.
But I was so caught up in that line about Jen and Melissa getting close to Hannah, but then yes, they're both dead. By the way, I still stand by my theory earlier. We need to do this for more. I need a head count on survivors. Okay, so one who brought the tape back from the wilderness is mystery number one that they need to figure out. And two, why would Hannah's daughter wait 25 years to come looking for revenge?
Because she just figured out who her mother was.
Oh, Hannah's daughter could be older. That's
my theory.
If Hannah's daughter wasn't a baby, but like had a baby and teenage pregnancy, Hannah was a grad student. Okay, Hannah's daughter could be a little older, but like Hillary Swank is like my age. Hannah ain't that old. How old do you think? Well, let's look at this. Now I gotta look at this.
Somebody in the live chat, our good friend Shayla, is saying if Hannah was 15, her daughter was 15 when she went missing. If Hannah was 15 when she had her and her daughter would have been 15 when she went missing, does the obituary tell you how old Hannah was?
That's a good question. Somebody is going to have to look this up. And I apologize. We're doing this right after the episode.
Yeah, we just both watched it. Like, clearly, look at the time we're doing this. But
and you know what? I'm not editing this. A more professional podcast who cared about their track record of being right would be like, oh, I'm going to go edit in that part where I'm like, Melissa could still be alive.
But I'm calling a friend here, and that friend is Shayla in the chat. She says she will be the same age as the Yellowjackets. Because she would have been around 15 by when Hannah went missing. If Hannah had her at 15, you know what I mean? Because she's already, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is she a college graduate, this frog scientist, or is she still in college?
I thought she was a graduate student. So, I mean, she could be 30. So she had her at 15.
See? So she had her at 15. Her daughter was about a teenager like the girls.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking this up. Here. I'm seeing how old.
This is great. Could Hillary Swank be the daughter and Walter be the son named Alex, but he changed his name to Walter?
I mean, that's a little Scooby-Doo. Don't you think?
I don't know, but Hannah, I like Shayla's theory of Hannah being late 20s, early 30s when she's out in the wilderness. She's clearly older than the girls. So if she had her daughter at a super early pregnancy, like teenage pregnancy, then yeah, the girl wouldn't be that young when she went missing. She's already leaving her, you know? And yeah, Alex is a girl, according to Shauna.
Yes. Interesting. I hadn't thought of this. Now I'm really This is interesting. I had not thought of this. I could be wrong. Let's see. Let's see what we can find out here in real time. Oh man.
Are you going back to the obituary? I wish somebody would have posted a picture of it. Yes. You know what I'm doing? You know what my investigation is? I'm looking at Hillary Swank's Instagram page to see how old she looks. That's my hard investigation, looking at her Instagram page. Yeah, she looks about the same age as the Yellowjackets.
And I get that. Okay, we're gonna look this up. But you know the actress that plays Callie is like in her late 20s.
Yeah, so remember when we talked to Travis, how old he was?
True. True. I can't believe anything anymore. It's just everything else is okay, so she was born in 1987. Ooh, maybe. So yeah, she's late 30s. Maybe, you know what? I take it back. Maybe Hillary Swank is Alex. and not Melissa. Although I'm going to look when we get to this last scene again.
Okay.
When we see her closing the blinds. This is interesting. But wait, counterpoint to this, okay?
Okay.
Her daughter that she gave up when she was a teenager that she's recording the message for, like, to me it seemed more like the daughter was a baby. But she said had a baby, so I thought baby. But so this means the daughter at the time, yes, is a teenager, yet she has not reestablished contact with interesting. Okay, we're gonna get to this. We're gonna figure this all out. So
Oh my god, our live chat today is amazing.
we're all processing this.
The speculation, like, hello to everybody that's watching us at 2 something a.m. Eastern time. They must be just as excited as we are to talk about this episode.
So wait, if Ashley Sutton is 37 and her character's 37, she had a baby at 15, that would mean, that could be Hilary Swank.
That could be Hilary Swank.
Now I'm so confused. And by the way, Melissa and Jen being confirmed dead, Van's line there, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because they did the thing.
Completely skipped by me too, by the way.
I know. Well, because before when she said they got so close, so they're okay. So they're confirming some people have died.
Yeah, but did she die out there from the crossbow? Because now I have a theory that they didn't keep her alive, and Shauna goes and kills everybody who doesn't keep her alive.
What if she made it back and she faked her own death, and they think she's dead, but she's really alive?
That's true. Some people could have made it back and died later of unknown circumstances.
Yeah.
No, but Shauna clearly told Mary, if she dies, you die. Think about it. If Melissa dies out in the wilderness and Shauna goes crazy and kills everybody who she assumes let her die, it will make sense why Hannah will go down, because she came back with the first aid. And I love this show so much. It makes me think. My theory, Glenn, is that she's gonna kill everybody. That Melissa's gonna die out there from this crazy wound that she has now, because they pulled the thing out. And she's gonna kill everybody who didn't keep her alive.
So Thaisa's credit card gets declined when they're getting gas.
It's all the hotel charges. That's how she says it so casually. Oh, must be all the hotel charges. LOL. Okay, Thaisa. She doesn't have a care in the world right now.
I know.
Probably because she found out the dog is okay.
So it's interesting that Van and Ty are getting into this about Van chickening out, killing that guy.
Also, if you're going on a road trip, regardless, right? Shauna was going on this road trip regardless. And these 3 people forced their way into the road trip. Should you be asking them for gas money? Because you would have done that on your own anyways. So why do you expect them to pitch in?
But I like that Ty points out to Van, like, it's not your diet. Van's like, I got lucky. And Ty's like, yo, you don't get lucky.
Well, I mean, look at their lives. Like, I feel like I never get lucky. So I understand where Ty is coming from.
And I like that Van saying she doesn't want to live that way of having to murder someone to stay alive. And Ty is like, I will live that way for you, girl. It will be like Little Shop of Horrors, and I will feed my murderous.
And you don't even have to know about it.
Yeah, that's sweet of her.
Is it?
Yeah. Then Misty gets some floss picks.
She's special.
Hey, dental hygiene's important.
It is.
Pointing out that Van looks pale, she says she's feeling a little motion sick. Ugh. And I like that nobody pumped the gas.
It all goes downhill from here.
I know. And Shauna's like, do I have to do everything for you people?
Don't they live in New Jersey? They pump your gas in New Jersey.
Well, they're going to Virginia.
No, I get that, but I can understand why nobody pumps the gas, because they're used to people pumping them from them. In Jersey, they pump the gas for you.
Yes.
Fun fact. I used to love it.
Isn't it the same like in Washington State or Oregon?
I don't know.
Somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. Man, I just can't believe everything that happened in this episode. But then we get Ty and Van at the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
And this was crazy, them finding the radio. And it's interesting that Van wants to call her mother.
I thought this was the other part of the episode I told you, like, wilderness Van, just have my heart because she gets so excited when she sees this phone. And she says, I'll call my mother. And I was like, oh, girl, the phone don't work.
And your mom is drunk and asleep. We've established this.
Yeah, but still, it's just that glimpse of hope that leaves so quickly. Those things always get me.
Yeah, it was really nice. Um, they let the frog out, and that made me very happy that the frog was let out of the jar.
Yeah, it can go back to his orgy.
Yes. I mean, that's gotta suck being kidnapped from the orgy and just held captive.
Imagine. Like, come on, like
And
let
it's like,
him
I
at
knew this
least.
was a setup, y'all. You tricked me.
And the rest
Uh,
of the other frogs are still orgying while this one gets kidnapped. No frog went looking for this one. They were having a good time.
absolutely. Yeah, Van's crying, whimpering, want to call her mom. Ty's saying that maybe there's a dial-out code like a hotel, but they recognize the antenna's broken. What do you think? Do you think this is how they get out of there? Do they fix this eventually?
Maybe I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
They're pretty
Um,
crafty, these yellow jackets,
it
wilderness girls. So maybe.
well, it seems like an antenna. I mean, antenna is a signal booster, which is just conductive material. I think they can probably figure out a way with the airplane parts and other things. I like Ty saying that, hey, we have all these supplies for the village, but Van has this realization that they don't really need that. If they can just find the people who are there, they can figure out how to get home. Because if they got there, they know how to get back.
Right.
Yeah, this is a great Van moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still sitting with the fact that it's confirmed, according to Van, that Jen and Melissa are dead. I don't believe that still. Maybe I don't know. That was big.
Well, I will say Van is always the most clueless one out of the four of them.
Yes. Birds fly overhead. I like that Akila and Travis are having this disagreement about the belief in Lottie and belief in nature. But
Right.
then I like that Misty has a plan to corner Kodiak. They're going to split up,
It
divide and
almost
conquer.
cost them Kodiak, but yeah.
I know. Travis taking some shots to send him off. Misty's going to cut him off. It was good. This was a smart plan. I like to see them work together. This is the kind of teamwork that wins state soccer championships and gets you to nationals.
But then you never make it there.
Yeah, well, they don't get to be lucky.
No.
Yeah, everyone in the chat is it's true. Yeah, Zay, I'm with you. I want Hillary to turn out to be Melissa, but Melissa's dead. That's huge. Okay, Hannah takes the DAT player, puts it under a log. Okay, we know that Melissa, if Jenna and Melissa were close to Hannah hid this thing in a log. Like, Hannah had to have told somebody where this was.
Right.
For it to get out of there. Because Hannah didn't get it out of there.
I don't know that we find out fully the mystery behind that tape since we only have 3 episodes left.
I know, 8, 9, and 10. So Shauna sees that hair with the little bit of the scalp meat on it and looks fascinated by it, then takes it and puts it in her pocket. Jackie and the ear thing really started a bad trend of Shauna where she's a hoarder and she can't throw anything away.
Yeah, it's a little gross.
It is a little gross.
Keeping that DNA evidence all over herself, making herself look guiltier. She don't need any help to look guilty. She already looks guilty by default.
Yes. So Natalie and Shauna are there, and I like this interaction with Hannah surrendering.
Yeah, she was great. And I love that she used because they tell her, one of you shot our friend, and he said, it wasn't me, it was Cody, and I know where the first aid supplies are. It was a good instinct to bring that up.
Yeah. And I like that Shauna just gets out the knife. Her emotional support knife.
Emotional support knife.
She is best friends with that knife. Knife first, Melissa second. Ghost of Jackie third.
Ghost of Jackie third. Damn. The Ghost of Jackie is offended by that comment.
But I like that Natalie wants to calm Hannah down and figure out how to get out of there, and Shauna wants to kill her because of
Kill
what
her.
happened to Melissa.
We leave no witnesses, she said.
So it's the first aid kit that really saves her life.
Yeah, because she's gonna make her responsible, keeping Melissa alive. I'm telling you.
But I like that Shauna's theory is that if we kill them, people will come looking for them and we get rescued without them ever finding
Yeah,
them.
they don't have to be
or
like, we
witnesses.
don't know what you're talking about. We've been out here since our plane crash.
Yes.
I mean, Jeff says it later on. 100 miles is a long way.
100 miles is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how Shauna jumps to rage but can be reasoned with very quickly.
Yeah.
Or you just
Not
have
a
to
good
kiss
lead.
her.
Those are not
You
good leader
just kiss her if
leadership
she pulls a
skills.
knife on
Like
you.
if you're a good leader, you have to be stern with your decision making. She gets like persuaded very easily.
So Misty gets a call from Walter, and that hair that he took from Shauna
Well, first
matches
of all,
the
Thaisa said,
DNA.
"I thought you two broke up," and she said, "We did, but he's very
Yes.
insistent. He's desperate."
Um. Yes, and also Misty finds the toll receipt from when Shauna went to New York City and got that cat, supposedly.
She got the cat. Okay.
Yes. So, between these things, the DNA match and this, Misty is now convinced that Shauna killed Lottie and decides to text Ty.
And Van, who are in the car with Shauna. This was so obvious, but it cracked me up because we all done that. We have all texted a group chat in front of the one person that's not in it. Come on. You done it, Glenn?
I have never done that during a car ride.
Oh my God, I do it all the time.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, this is crazy, and they have to figure out how to stop the car. And then Van, at first I was like, oh, Van's faking something to stop the car. I was like, nope, Van's throwing up blood.
She's actually throwing up blood.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Thaisa originally said she had to pee. Shauna knows what's going on. She knows they're all texting each other. She says, "Yo, want me to stop this car?" And I'm not gonna. And that's when everything falls apart for Van and my heart just slowly breaks.
Oh my God.
Thaisa needs to kill someone fast.
Yeah.
We can't lose Van.
It is interesting though. Sean was like, I'm not stopping the car. I'm not pulling over. Yeah, they all say that till you start coughing up blood.
She pulls over into a hospital because this is an urgent situation.
I mean, look, blood or not, if you're throwing up in my car, you got to get out of that car quick.
You do have a nice car. I would never throw up in your car, Glenn.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Crossbow knocks Misty's glasses off in a crazy moment from Kodiak in 97.
She barely skips that.
Yeah. Misty's trying to find her glasses. But then they stop Kodiak from running right off a cliff.
There's a cliff. Yep.
Yeah. And he don't care. Live by the wilderness.
My favorite part was like he's like hanging on by a thread because he falls into the cliff. And Travis just goes to threaten him with his shotgun and he says, "Save your bullet." And I was like, yo, Kodiak is badass, even facing death.
Yes.
Travis gets desperate. He says, "No, tell us how to get back."
I mean, I think that this leaves Aquila on Team Lottie at this point.
Right.
Everyone else is on Team Go Home.
It's half and half.
Yeah. But Aquila doesn't want him to save Kodiak.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think my instinct is regardless of what team I will capture them and bring them back. Yeah. And then we either make the decision as a team or we let Lottie just axe them in the head when we're not expecting them.
Shauna is not letting Kodiak live through the end of the next episode.
Oh, no.
Melissa.
Unless they realize he's the smart one that knows how to, maybe throw them a map to get out,
Yes.
They can cut his foot off or stab his ankle.
Oh yeah.
Like they did to Uncle. Listen to me. To
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben. Yeah, sorry. To Coach Ben. It's
like he said with great power comes great responsibility, and And Natalie was like, yes, I get it. I
It's
understand now.
3 a.m. Glenn, cut me a
I
break,
know.
okay? Coach Ben, Coach
I
Ben.
earlier in the show, I said, why don't they say the line that it turns out they said exactly that like 2 beats later after I went on that rant.
Right.
It's late, y'all. Look, people were not happy when we took a couple days to get that episode out a few weeks ago. So we're trying to get this to y'all ASAP.
Not only are we in complete different time zones, but we both have such crazy schedules that sometimes this is the only time that it works out so we can get it on time and not 3 days late.
Yes.
But I actually really wanted to talk about this episode immediately. As soon as I watched it, I'm like, oh, I'm ready.
Yeah. So Shauna and Misty found out that Van has cancer.
Yeah, because they walk into the ER and Thaisa just, which she has to, right? If you're with a person, you're entering an ER, you have to tell the doctors the immediate dangers. But I had no idea that they didn't know.
Yeah.
Thaisa tells them she has cancer. I'm her wife, and they only, of course, I love Misty. It's like, I'm not her wife, but we are bonded but we have trauma bond. And then the guy's like, only immediate family. She's like, I'm also a licensed nurse. Like,
Yeah.
you don't work here, lady.
So they're in the waiting room, and I like that Misty is telling Shauna off and
Me
telling her that she
too.
killed Lottie.
Not only that she killed Lottie, but that she's a bad friend. Like, she is starting to listen to Walter. As much as she don't like him, the influence, the comment that he made about her friends not being her friend really stuck with her.
Now, do you believe the DNA alibi she's using, that because Lottie was at her house, that's why she has Shauna's DNA? Although I mean, Shauna's
It's
DNA is under her
possible,
fingernails.
though. It's possible.
I suppose.
How
We're
did
not
she
gonna.
know the DNA was from under her fingernails, though?
No, she says, because Misty said it was defensive, or in a place that was defensive. And it's interesting she still considers Lottie one of her oldest friends when she did not seem friendly to Lottie the last time they
Right.
saw each other, the last
Right.
few times.
Right.
So Shauna goes up to get a Coke,
She
and
doesn't get a Coke.
much like a father going out for cigarettes, she never comes back.
You know what I thought was funny when she stepped up to the Coke machine? I thought she wasn't gonna have any cash and would have had to go back to ask Misty for cash for the Coke.
When she goes to the cold drink machine that is not selling
Yeah.
Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
it's
it
selling
was,
Cola Crush.
oh, gross. But I thought maybe she would have had the cash and she would have had to go back to Misty. That would have been so sitcom like. But no, she just ends
Yes.
up taking off and leaves them all there.
Yeah.
And Misty's not surprised. Do you see the expression on Misty's face? Misty's like, yeah, of course she left.
No, totally. She scoffed.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
Shauna. So, okay, this was amazing. What happened here is that we've got Ty and Van together in the hospital, Van being treated. Somebody clearly suffering some mental delusions next to them, saying, ring, ring, motherfuckers. The devil's calling. And Ty is like,
we all been next to that person at the ER at one point or another.
and Ty's like, I'm going to kill that guy. And then Van's like, don't do it. And she's like, no, I was kidding.
She
She wasn't
wasn't
kidding.
kidding. You and I both know she wasn't kidding, and Ben too. Ben looked at her like, are you kidding?"
Yeah, this was great. This was absolutely great. But seeing the two of them together, this arc has been so good. And I have to admit, I was really afraid that Van was going to die with what
She
happened.
might. She might.
I know. It's so tense.
I'm trying to prepare myself for it just in case. I'm hoping that Thaisa just sneaks into the bathroom and just gets a kill in real quick, you know?
So Van has a great moment where she sees teenage Lottie talking to her. The suspenseful music goes on. She's in the wilderness in the hospital bed, and she's confronted with her other self.
Her younger self, her wilderness self.
Yeah. This was great seeing.
Tells her, we never cheated death, and I thought I had tuned into Final Destination.
It was great seeing the two of them share an episode.
Me too.
Share a scene
I
together.
love that. I love that because they're two of my favorites.
Yeah. This was exceptionally well done, saying yes, we never actually cheated death.
Yeah, it was an
It was
even trade.
an even trade.
Yeah, that scene stuck with me because she then sees evil Ty with the dirt, and then evil Ty says, "I hope they don't take your eyes."
I know. Well, let's talk about this though. Young Van lights the bed on fire again. Remember, Van almost died
Yeah.
in the fire of the plane crash originally. She had that cabin vision.
Mm-hmm.
Fire is obviously a huge fear of hers. I know not of you because as you know, you mentioned safe on cremation. But yes, Dark Ty, other Ty saying, I won't let them take your eyes. This isn't the end. You're not going to die. She's got the dirt around her mouth. And Van wants to speak to original Ty as opposed to other Ty. Like this was very, very good, but they are going to give her a transfusion. O positive. And it looks like Van, for now, is going to live through the episode.
Yeah.
Absolute great.
But Ty is
scene.
like, you've been like Ben is like, you've been keeping me alive for who? Like it was intense. That whole part was very intense. Ty clearly didn't kill Lottie, because if Ty would have killed Lottie, Van would be healthy.
Yes. That's a good point. That is a good point, Issa.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At least I figured something out.
You know what? Maybe it's Alex, and maybe we're gonna find out that Edwin
No, it's Shauna.
Maybe it was Alex, the daughter, and maybe was the daughter of Hannah. Oh, here we go. New theory. I got to redeem myself. Okay. Turns out Edwin was the father of Hannah. Hannah never told Edwin he was the father. No, that wouldn't make sense because she would know she was pregnant. Relax now. Okay, but Edwin was the father.
Kodiak.
Oh, maybe it was Kodiak was the father, and that's why Alex killed Lottie because Lottie killed Edwin, and then is going after Shauna because Shauna's probably going to kill Hannah, and take the hair for the Antler Queen, and that's why Hilary Swank is getting revenge.
I don't know about any of that. I just know that it wasn't Ty, because if it was Ty, it would have bought Van a couple of days.
That's true. That is a very good point. Okay, so Lottie is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre style, just like playing with the corpse and the brain. Like this is some weird shit, Lottie. My opinion on you has changed.
My favorite part is when she goes back to Melissa, and I think it's Mary.
Yes, the best quote of the episode. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
We'll get to this in a second. Okay, so they're trying to pull the arrow out of Melissa, which you can't pull an arrow out. I learned as a child, you got to push that shit through.
Yeah. Isn't that what happened? You know what? I'm not going to go there. I was about to get dark. But I felt that's what happened to Steve Irwin. When they pulled the stingray thing out, you weren't supposed to do that.
Too soon.
Okay, it's not too soon. It's been a while.
Okay, well, Jen fucking pushes that arrow right through, breaks it off.
Yeah, but Melissa's a pro. She takes it like it's nothing. Shout out to Melissa, even though she dies.
Yes, so Lottie's covered herself in blood. And quote of the episode is from Mari.
Go fuck your blood dirt, Lottie. I'm gonna start using that.
Mari is I love Mari, but oh my god, like sometimes she does the worst things, but sometimes she does the best things.
Go fuck your blood dirt. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yes. They get the arrow out, they push it through. Didn't you see that on camera?
Okay, my dog is snoring and he sounds like Thaisa.
Okay. Then they get back to the camp with Hannah.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm really into Frisbee. And
you're not letting that go, are you?
It was in the obituary. I don't know.
You said my obituary would only say I love Roman Reigns and my dog.
I said that would be your eulogy, similar to Natalie's.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll just get up. Yeah. But the written obituary, you got more space. But Hannah introduces herself as surrounded by the girls. Hannah just looks like She's freaking out. Now, I will say this. Hannah clearly looks older than the girls, but Hannah does not look 37 years old. I do not think the character is supposed to be the same age. And by the
We're
way...
not saying the same. Okay, she could just a couple years younger.
And by the way, at 37, even for those lifelong grad student scientist folks, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe
she's using some frog potion for skincare.
I mean, she looks much younger, is what I'm saying. I think the character.
She looks late 20s, early 30s.
Sure, we'll figure it out, though. We'll figure it out. Okay, so that's the last shot of the wilderness. Is Hannah's now there with the group? She's not in her yellow jacket, everyone. But what's going to happen with Kodiak? That's the question. Okay, back in the present, Jeff is convinced there's bed bugs.
Yeah, poor thing is breaking out everywhere.
And Callie is super real. Like, Shauna ain't a good person. You know what happened in the wilderness. Did she ever mention a frog scientist? Like, this is the dirtier secret than the cannibalism.
The cannibalism is expected. Yes. How they stay alive. You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't shock me. But this whole thing, this is a whole new twist.
Yes. Fall 97, 2 researchers and a guide disappeared without a trace. But less than 100 miles, 100 miles is...
100 miles, Jeff has a point. They could have never even seen each other, too.
Yeah.
Think about it. If the guy didn't smell Ben's freshly cooked booty meat, they would have never seen each other.
Puerto Rico is 110 miles from east to west.
Yeah.
You have not crossed paths with everybody in Puerto Rico.
I have not.
So it's
there's towns I have never been to.
Really? That is interesting.
They're not interesting towns.
But Callie tells Jeff, this is the biggest revelation since I'm finding out there's no book club. Because Callie is saying, I heard the tape.
The book club. Hold on.
And Jeff is master acting here in his face when he's trying to be in denial about this, but deep down it's like he knows the truth.
Yeah. Because he just realized his wife is evil and his daughter is smarter than him. He's just a furniture maker.
But that furniture fucks.
Yeah, that does.
Okay, then we cut to Shauna driving. I'm turning up the brightness on my screen all the way on my iPad here. So she made it to Virginia. Now we see
the state of lovers.
Virginia is for lovers.
Frogs will love it there.
Someone closing the blinds.
Mm-hmm.
And Shauna sitting there. Okay, I want to talk about this a second because I was a little disappointed with this here.
Okay.
They pan down and she's got a knife, but I was disappointed that it wasn't the knife with with the sheath that Melissa gave her.
Not
that would have been
emotional support knife.
Yes, it was not her emotional support knife. She stopped at Harbor Freight. She got a brand new knife. This should have been knifey, her lifelong companion.
Right, agreed.
Yeah,
I noticed that too. This is a much nicer case though, like a leather case. It looks good.
Yeah, but the other one was made for her by Melissa. It's sentimental.
Yeah, well, Melissa died.
Yes, which apparently throwaway line there. Okay, I'm looking here at Alex. That don't look like Hilary Swank.
Listen, I'm gonna wait until the next episode. Or I'm gonna wait until somebody on Reddit figures out how old Hannah was.
I'm looking at a screenshot. Maybe, but also maybe not.
I don't think we saw enough to be able to tell if that's Hilary Swank or not.
I don't know, man.
We just saw a slender woman in her hands.
Yeah,
I mean, she had dark hair.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the bathroom lady.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's the other point, right? But again, Um, yeah, true. Bathroom Lady's blonde.
Right.
Man, I'm still getting over the Van's line that Melissa is dead. Melissa can't really be dead.
She is.
Like, they just buried that halfway through in the episode.
I mean, yeah.
Hell of an episode.
Yeah, I didn't catch it until you just now because you are rewatching it as we recap to make sure we don't miss anything.
Well, because she said Jen and Melissa were closest to Hannah, and that was a big like, hey, let's digest this line.
Right.
And then like, but they're dead.
So nonchalant about it.
Like, they died. What are you gonna do?
You know?
Yeah.
The episode goes off the air with Shauna outside of this allegedly Alex lady's daughter of Hannah. Another excellent cliffhanger that makes me already go crazy because we gotta wait a week.
Yes. So amended note to the creators, if you're going to drop a bombshell like that in the episode, repeat it 2 or 3 more times just so Glenn doesn't miss it in the dialogue.
Same. I missed it completely, but at least I think I eliminated Ty from the suspect list. I think that's big.
Yeah. Maybe it's Alex. Maybe everything is Alex.
And who is Alex? And how old is she? And how old was Hannah?
I know.
And did the frog get back to the orgy happily?
That's really the big question.
A lot of questions. Yes.
Okay, so next episode, do we see Hilary Swank?
Yeah, we should. Whether Alex is Hilary Swank or not, I think we will see her, because what's the point of saying she's gonna show up this season? There's no way they serve her for the last episode 5 minutes. No, like I will hope we see her a couple of episodes. We're already more than halfway.
Yeah, you don't announce that ahead of time.
I can understand why not drop her in the first 4 episodes, because they kind of like people were able to early watch them, but now that we're all watching them at the same time, there's no reason to hold her until the last episode. So yes, I think we see her.
Well, this is huge. Who knows what's going to happen? It's very exciting. Aside from Yellowjackets, and I did not watch my beloved Reacher tonight because I'm traveling. I just watched Yellowjackets in a hotel. This week, watched the movie Trap again, which is one of the craziest things that I've seen in recent memory. It's not a good movie, but in many ways, it's a great movie.
Okay.
And Josh Hartnett is really good in it. You didn't watch Trap yet?
No.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan film. I don't want to spoil anything for you. There are twists.
I'm already going to watch it. You got my attention.
Yeah, but it's silly, but also wonderful. Anyhow, you got to watch it.
Silly how? Like The Village, or?
You're just going to watch it and you're just going to be like, well, this is ridiculous. But then you're going to be like, but it also kind of works.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's so layers of silliness. And then I watched the 1980-81 horror movie classic, Happy Birthday to Me. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, what, like, spoiler alert, I just want to talk about this here for a second with you because you've seen this. So if you haven't seen this movie, consider stop listening now. You think the girl that is the main character, you think she's the one that's killing everyone. Everything points to that. And then this batshit twist ending at the end that it's her half sister who's wearing a mask to look like her, like, makes no sense at all.
Yes, it's like very much, I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm a loyal subscriber of Shudder because, I'm a big horror movie fan, and they have a movie in there called Influencer. Have you seen that?
I've heard of Influencer.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but the twist of it, I won't spoil it for you, but the twist of it is insane, where you're like, okay, I can see it happening, but at the same time, this is ridiculous.
But
it's all pointed in one direction, then when you realize what it is, you're like, no freaking way.
But I have to say this about Happy Birthday to Me. It has the best alcoholic mom character I have ever seen. Oh my God. So
I need to watch it again. It was
in this
good.
movie,
I enjoyed it. And I was with you. I thought the main girl was the killer.
You have this flashback because the mom was an angry drunk that felt wronged by society. And she's a scene where she's driving in the car and she's like, they're all gonna pay. They're all terrible. And they zoom out, and she's got the bottle of alcohol in her hand while she's ranting while driving. And then she keeps going, they're all gonna pay. And then you hear mom, and she's sitting there drinking while driving while her daughter is right next to her.
I saw a TikTok today and it was like, tell me you're in Puerto Rico without telling me you're in Puerto Rico, right? And this guy is just walking by this older lady that's at this pretty famous shopping, like it's a franchise. You know, there's a lot of shopping, like
Sure.
sandwich shops here in Puerto Rico, but this lady is like opening her sandwich and then she pulls out this beer from inside her purse, just opens it to drink it with her sandwich. And I'm like, what in the hell? That's what that alcoholic character reminded me of.
Yeah, it's
The lady that like pulls the alcohol bottle from her purse and just starts drinking it anywhere. That kind
oh
of
my
alcoholic.
god. Like, and I feel like, do you ever watch something and you're like, oh, now I understand what all these sketches and skits and comedy was making fun of? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I felt like, because this was the most over the top depiction that I've ever seen in a movie, and it was just
Yeah, Van cannot watch this movie. It would
no
give her
trauma.
PTSD.
Van would be like, it's like my mom, but my mom just gets drunk and sleeps.
Right. This one just takes the alcohol with her on the road.
Yeah, I had that happen. Was I had a friend that was describing her her upbringing and her parents, and I was like, oh, they would get drunk a lot. Like, were they what? Like, I'm so sorry. Were they like abusive, like emotionally or physically? And they were like, no. If anything, they violently ignored me. I was like,
oh no.
that's Van's mom. Van's mom violently ignored
Right.
her.
Right. Imagine they would have got that phone to work to make one call and the mom is passed out.
Smash cut to Van's mom. The TV's on with the Miss Cleo psychic commercial on TV, and Van's mom was just passed out.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Anyways, it's
Anyhow,
one episode of Yellowjackets tonight.
Great episode of Yellowjackets.
Yeah, I'm with you. The last two episodes have been top notch for me. The entire series, talking all 3 seasons, they have been really good.
Yeah, it's been something. Well,
and your hotel internet held up.
I know. We did it. We made it. But next week we'll be back, and I'll be back home, and I'll have my double feature. Oh, I'm a Reacher season finale in Yellowjackets. It'll be a great Thursday.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to Yellowjackets Buzz. We'll catch you back here next time. Take care.